30. We started at 37. That's a few weeks ago. Now we're up to chapter 46 in Genesis. Live. Start live now.
Or I did.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we would like to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahushua, and greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four corners of the globe. My name is Brother Yakanan, and to my right is Brother Gamoria, and we're going to continue doing Sabbath reading in the book of Genesis, leading up to our exodus out of the land of Israel. We are going to read on how we ended up in Israel, the accounts and the things that are happening to us leading up to a Pharaoh who did know us, and who also he believed in Joseph as a leader in Egypt. So today we're going to start reading at the book of Genesis, chapter 46, and we will start at verse 1. And you can follow along if you're with us in the classroom or if you'd like to read online. If you have any precepts that you'd like to add, please say Salakia, and we will acknowledge you, and you can add your precepts to the lesson. The book of Genesis, chapter 46, verse 1. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto Yahweh of his father Isaac. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. And he said, I am Yahweh, the power of your father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up at Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. And there are the names of the children of Israel.
Real quick, just to touch on that. Notice it says all his seed. All Jacob's seed came with him. So this is just showing that everything revolves around the seed. It's not talking about the mothers of the sons. The seed of Leah came into Egypt. The seed of Rachel came to Egypt. Just to show that when we jump to the New Testament and it's talking about Christ and it says the seed of David, it's not talking about through Mary. It's talking about it's always been through the fathers. We can go back to Genesis and we can see it's always relating to the father. So the seed is talking about the man. So all the Jacob's seed, his sons and daughters, came into Egypt.
Sure.
Just touch on that. So we can go back to Genesis, the first book, and we can see that seed is talking about the father. That's why it ain't mentioned that Leah's sons came into Egypt, with Rachel's sons, with Bilhah's sons, with Zilpah's sons. So go ahead.
Come.
Where we at?
We're at Genesis chapter
46, verse 8. And these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. And the sons of Reuben, Hanak, and Phalu, and Hezron, and Carmi. And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jamin, and Ohad, and Yakin, and Zohar, and Shoel, the son of a Canaanitish woman. And the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari.
The son of a Canaanitish woman. Right?
Come.
So that's just another one. This is still a son that's called a what?
Seed.
Yeah, but what's his tribe?
King Israel.
His tribe is Israel, and
That's
he's
right.
the son of who?
Simeon.
Yeah.
Right? But he has a Canaanitish woman. So even we can go back to Genesis and we can see that it's still the seed of the father, and that because you had a Canaanitish woman, you're still of the seed of Israel.
Con, that's a cut to the so-called Mamzer doctrine.
Right. And if anybody, we got new people in the class and possibly online, the Mamzer doctrine, there's a doctrine that says a child that's born of an Israelite father and a heathen mother is a Mamzer, which means a bastard. Right? But through scriptures, you don't find that. You don't ever find a Mamzer or bastard being shown or defined as having a heathen mother. I mean, if you just use simple reasoning, who were the tribes even going to start birthing out more children to expand the tribe with? Were they supposed to all go into Dinah or Dinah? Nah, that wouldn't make sense. So it never was that. And even though Canaan is like the most hated person at this point next to Esau, right? He's having children with Canaanite women. And they're still the seed of Simeon.
Huh.
So, yeah, we can go back unless you got something.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Verse 11. And the sons of Levi were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. And the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, and Pharez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Pharez were Hezron and Hemuel. And the sons of Issachar, Tola, and Phuvah, and Job, and Shimron. And the son of Zebulun, Sarai.
Real quick, so who's the sons of Issachar?
Tola, Phuvah, and Job.
And Job. So that's another thing. People, you might hear that Job, because he was in the land of Esau, there's another doctrine that says Job's an Edomite. This is probably, you can't say for sure, but this is where you find an account of Job being in the list of being Israel. But you don't find nowhere of Job being a descendant of Esau. So we go back to this scripture to show that Job is most likely an Issacharite, because he's in the lineage of Job, of Issachar in Genesis 46. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And the sons of Zebulun, Sarah, and Elon, and Jaleel. These be the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob in Padan Aram, with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 33. And the sons of Gad, Ziphion, and Haggi, Shuni, and Esbon, Eri, and Oreli, and the sons of Asher, Jimnah, and Ishua, and Isui, and Bariah, and Sarah, their sister, and the sons of Bariah, Eber, and Malchiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bare unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bare unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela, and Becher, and Ashbel, Gera, and Naaman, Ehi, and Rosh, Mupin, and Hupim, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel which were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hushim. And the sons of Naphtali, Jazil, and Guni, and Jazer, and Shelem. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel, his daughter. And she bare these unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 70. And 70, that's 70 souls that went down into Egypt. And he sent Judah before him, and Joseph.
Real quick, and see it says, beside the wives. So the wives weren't of Jacob, but the souls that were, is pointing out, came out of Jacob's loins. And that's 70. Go ahead.
Verse 11 of Salakia. Verse 28. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel, his father, to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph, now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, my brethren and my father's house, which are in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade have been to feed cattle. And they have brought their flocks and their herds, and all that they had. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, what is your occupation? That ye shall say, thy servants' trade have been about cattle from our youth, even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
Every what?
Every shepherd is an abomination unto the
So
Egyptians.
what's the job of a shepherd? Herding sheep, right? So what are the children of Israel?
That's a shepherd.
So today the Egyptians still hate the shepherds. Right?
Chapter 47, verse 1. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of the brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks. For the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if thou knowest any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and went out from before Pharaoh. And Jacob placed his fathers and his brethren, and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt.
Go back up to 47 and 9. Read 9 again.
And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been.
What?
Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been.
So from there, go to 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 50, started. Because even Jacob, he said the days of his life would have been few and evil. So what's that mean for us? It's going to be the same way for us. We can't walk around expecting things to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. You can't get thrown off because of the different afflictions you go through here, because of different struggles and all the devil coming at you from here, the devil coming at you from there, all the temptations, all the people hating on you because of how you dress, or because of what you believe, because of how you walk. All these things before we had to sit and go through them. Jacob, our forefather, had to go through them. He had to go through the trial that every man shall fight. Started 53.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, verse 53.
In fact, started 49.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, verse 49. For what profit is it unto us if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death, and that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves being most wicked are made vain, and that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly, and that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. Right. And that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endureth forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which men that is born upon the earth shall fight. That is, he be overcome, he shall suffer, and thou hast said, but if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say.
You see, so that's why Jacob's life has been few and equal, because he's been battling that battle all his life. Jacob, he was Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. They were all promised all these promises that Ezra's asking about, right? The blessings, the health, the eternal life. You know, all these things. Jacob was promised those, but we didn't receive them then. His life was still, as he called it, few and equal, because he still had to go through the condition of the battle. He still had to deal with temptations. And when you go to the prayer of Manasseh, it says what? It says that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they didn't sin before the Most High. So they took that battle and they what? They overcame. They endured through that battle, through all those 130 years that were few and evil. Hit that real quick.
That also showed that they were going through a condition of hell. They were living through the torments of life in their flesh and not living another life eternal. You know what I mean? And that also shows that the condition that we are in is a condition of hell.
And they were pilgrims. What's a pilgrim do? We read, he said he called it his pilgrimage in Genesis. So a pilgrim is always what? Moving from place to place, looking for a country. So our forefathers, they were always ready to go. The Most High had them moving, and they get told to move, they follow. The Most High said go, they up and go. They were like pilgrims on the earth, right? Always in search of that promised land. But even though not receiving it then, they still endured through temptations, endured through the trials. And prayer of Manasseh, it's like roughly verse 8, if it's got numbers, mine doesn't. But it says, O Lord, that art the God of the just, has not appointed repentance to the just, as to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, which have not sinned against thee. So see, they endured this trial, this short and evil life, and still remain without sin. So now today, we still got to go through those same trials and tribulations. And when they come on, you can't look at it like, you know, and get dismayed by it. You gotta remember that Jacob, he had to go through it too. Jacob's life was this way, so mine is gonna be this way.
Come.
That I know that there's a greatness coming, but I still gotta be patient. I gotta exercise that patience. And I gotta understand that it might not come on my time, it's gonna come on Most High's time.
Kind of, you gotta realize that you gotta walk through affliction, because even Yahweh Shai gotta walk through affliction, and the servant is not above the master. None of us are. And even in the past tense, you even see this through all the servants that are of Yahweh. They all had to go through some affliction. Even Joseph, he had to go through the affliction of being in prison throughout the story. So ain't none of us above it.
You go back.
What's 28?
We was at, we're back in Genesis 47 verse 9.
Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 47, verse 9. And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, these days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his fathers and his brother and gave them possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they brought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in the presence, for the money faileth? And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came unto him the second year, and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. My Lord also have our herds of our cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them, so the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end to the borders of Egypt, even to the other, and thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them, wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people, behold, I have bought you this day in your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and ye shall sow the land. And it shall come to pass in the increase that ye shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for seed of the field, and for your food, and from them of your households, and for food for your little ones. And they said, thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the 5th part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh's.
What we seeing right here? We're seeing that all the things Joseph talked about, of why the Most High made it happen, that he was brought into the land to preserve Jacob and his son. We're also seeing that what Sirach chapter 11 is talking about, verse 21.
And as,
real quick.
and as
Go-
for the people,
Don't go to Sirach 11:21.
my bad.
It says, marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in Yahweh and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of Yahweh on the sudden to make a poor man rich. And that's what we're seeing here with Joseph. All these things are coming to pass because what? Joseph did what? He didn't marvel at the works of the sinners. He didn't get thrown off by what they was putting him through. And he abided in his labor of serving the Most High and staying faithful through all that. And now it's an easy thing the Most High is doing. He's making everybody poor, and he's making the poor Joseph rich. And we see it, he just makes it happen through a family. Through a family. He gives Joseph the recipe. Joseph acts on it. And now little by little, all of a sudden, everybody, they're bringing everything to him because he has what? He has the core. He has what everybody needs. The same way with Jacob. When he was in the land, he had everything that Laban needed. And then when Laban had failed in the way he treated Jacob, it was all on a sudden, he flipped it and made the poor rich. That's all I wanted to bring out. We'll go back.
The book of Genesis, chapter 47, verse 7. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die. And he called his son Joseph, and said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt, but I will lie with my fathers. And thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, Swear unto me. And he sware unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head. And it came to pass, after these things, that one told Joseph, Behold, thy father is sick. And he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And one told Jacob, and said, Behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. And Israel strengthened himself, and sat upon the bed. And Jacob said unto Joseph, Yahweh Almighty appeared unto me at Luz, in the land of Canaan, and blessed me, and said unto me, Behold, I will make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and I will make of thee a multitude of people, and will give thee land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. And now thy two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt, before I came unto thee in Egypt, are mine, as Reuben and Simeon. They shall be mine. And thy issue, which thou begettest after them, shall be thine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance. And as for me, when I came from Padan, Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan, in the way when yet there was but a little way to come unto Ephrath. And I buried her there in the way of Ephrath. The same is Bethlehem. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons, and said, Who are these? And Joseph said unto him, Father, they are my sons, whom Yahweh hath given me in this place. And he said, Bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God has showed me also thy seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand, and towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, Yahweh, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the power which fed me all my life unto this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. And he blessed them that day, saying, In thee shall Israel bless, saying, Yahweh make thee as Ephraim, and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but Yahweh shall be with you and bring you again unto the land of your fathers.
Real quick, what are we seeing right here with Ephraim and Manasseh? Manasseh was born first, right? So usually, who gets the blessing? The oldest. But we're seeing that instead Ephraim got the blessing. So we're seeing, once again, what Paul brought out in Romans 9:11. Go there right quick. We're seeing the same thing that we saw with Jacob and Esau. Esau was technically the firstborn, but that blessing is from the whole time, from the beginning. Most I had that for Jacob, not for Esau.
Isaac and Ishmael too.
Isaac and Ishmael too, right?
It's actually a reoccurring theme throughout the whole Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Israel being the youngest nation.
Yeah, Jacob.
Right.
Jacob
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm talking about in the world.
Okay.
Yeah,
It says Israel was the youngest nation.
Yeah, exactly.
Before all of them, but that's the chosen one.
Yep. Because so we saying the Most High, he operates on a different, he got different rules. The Most High, he already has everything set up. The Most High has everything predestined. So Romans 9:11, it reads, for the children not yet born, it's talking about Jacob and Esau, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. But so see, the point being, the Most High, he already has his election. So, Joseph's like, nah, Ephraim wasn't born first. But the Most High, he already has it. The Most High already has said Ephraim is going to be greater than Manasseh. But we're also seeing that Joseph is getting blessed and getting rewarded already for his enduring through his trials. Because the same way, the firstborn or the favorite, that chosen one gets a blessing, Joseph got two blessings.
God.
Because all the tribes, the sons were all part of Israel. But Joseph, he got two sons that were two separate tribes. That's like getting the blessing twice. That's like if Jacob got the blessing and was like, it's kind of similar. Jacob got 12 portions. But then in those portions, right, quote unquote, there was 12 tribes, but then Joseph, he prevailed and got 2 tribes out of himself. So that's why when we see in like Revelations, it'll say Joseph, the gate of Joseph, and then what, Manasseh? Right. because Ephraim was made the firstborn, so that gate is called Joseph. But then Joseph still has another gate, which is Manasseh. So that's, we can go back now. Just so it was always by election, so it's the same way here.
The book of Genesis chapter 48 verse 21. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I died. But Yahweh shall be with you and bring you again unto the land of our fathers. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite, with my sword and with my bow. Look at Genesis chapter 49 verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might in the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed. Then defilest thou it, he went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brethren instruments of
Who
cruelty.
knows what that's talking about?
He slept with his fathers.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Which one?
What happened?
Bilhah.
Yeah. Which one?
Bilhah.
That
So,
was one of the handmaids, right?
yeah, Con. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren instruments of cruelty, are in their habitation. O my soul, come not thou into thy secret, unto their assembly. Mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Verse 8. Judah, thou art whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
Go to Zechariah 12 and 8 real quick. It's saying Judah is the one that the brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. So Zechariah 12 is just going into the same thing. The prophecy of Judah, what? Being that head tribe, right?
Praise tribe.
Huh?
And the praise tribe.
The praise tribe,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And you can see it too. You can see it right now, even in the Christian church. You know, our worship is on high. You know, we give the best form of worship, but you know, our heart is not towards the Most High, but the zeal is there. You know, and you see it.
Yeah, the
We are
black
whom our
church
brother
is-
shall praise. It represents God's praise. That's what Yahweh means. Judah means God's praise, and we show forth the praise with our lips. You know what I mean? But the heart is far from me, sadly and unfortunately.
Yeah, what you're talking about, though, like you can see that the most lit church is the Judah church.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Northern Kingdom, they up into the Catholic Church mostly. That's like a damn funeral every Sunday.
It also says, he is he whom his brothers shall praise too. Yeah, everything that we do, whether it's crooked, whether it's right in church, all the other tribes, they try to follow after us what we do.
Bow down.
Bow down to, even the nations do too. They even go after our crookedness, you know what I mean? Like if we sagging our pants, you know what I mean? They sagging their pants. If we rap about killing each other, now you got the nations rap about killing each other and stuff like that. You got Asians trying to make their head nappy now like ours. You know what I mean?
Man,
So
they-
we are Yahweh's praise.
All of them.
They rapping too, man.
Yeah.
They sound just like some down song. I don't know.
Yeah. Everybody tries to be like Judah. From the basketball, the football, baseball.
And all of the
You know
movements
everything.
to this current day kingdom is coming out of Judah. Black Lives Matter, the Civil Rights Movement, all
Yeah, that's our hand being in the neck of our oppressor. That's the prophecy right there. Ain't our man? Black Lives Matter, same thing. Yeah.
Civil Rights Movement, everything.
Where you all at?
Zechariah chapter 12 and 8. Actually start at 7. We can start at 7.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 12, verse 7.
No, started. Go ahead, started.
I got to highlight it from
5.
7 to 14.
But I like 5.
Okay. The book of Zechariah, chapter 7, chapter 12, verse 5. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength.
So all our black leaders in past, they took strength for the struggle and oppression of our people. And they made that their strength to stand up. I'm going to stand up to my people and what the oppressor is doing to them. Right? That was Judah saying in his heart, I'm going to make the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Now, all my other Israelites, they just called us, they just was thinking black, but we know it's Israelites. So they took that and made that their strength. Go ahead.
And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength, and Yahweh of hosts their power. And that day will I make the governors of Judah like an hearth of fire among the wood.
And then you can even actually take that back before the Civil Rights Movement. Think about all the uprisings. Like in Haiti, so that was Levites still.
Still the kingdom of Judah.
Kingdom of Judah. Then you got Nat Turner. All the rebellions, they said, they became a hearth of fire among the wood. They took strength in the inhabitants of Jerusalem and in the Most High and became that hearth of fire among the wood. Go ahead.
And that day will the governors of Judah like an hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in the sheaf. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. Yahweh also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
And this is what you see with the so-called, the quote-unquote, the truth coming out. Starting to come out back in the 70s and the Abba Bivens, and then, those after him. That's how you know that that's Judah, because they was raising up and they was coming back to the word, and they was bringing the word out and gathering the tribes back. You see it right there. You see the tribe of Judah being raised up first.
Not even just with Al-Bivens, but even with Malcolm X, even though he was teaching Islam, he was giving the Valley of Dry Bones speech, and he knew that was the Negro in America. If you go to, what's the Museum in Harlem, they got his Bible there, and when you go to Ezekiel 37, it says the Negro in America written in there.
Right. And yeah, definitely. All the civil rights leaders, Malcolm, Martin, all of them raising up. It's all you're seeing with that Judah being to save the tents of Judah first, coming back woke, right, waking back up. Then you're seeing the other tribes follow. That's how you know it was Judah, and then the other tribes after that. Go ahead.
The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, and the angel of Yahweh before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come up against Jerusalem.
Exactly, and that's what we're waiting for. We waiting for that. We waiting for that 144 to be sealed, and then for all the other nations to be destroyed before us.
Come.
So we can go back, unless you got more.
No, that was pretty much
Yeah,
it.
we can go back now.
Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be, binding his fool unto the vine, and his ass colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
What's this a prophecy of?
Is that the prophecy in Isaiah when
Right. Let's get it.
He went off and killed a bunch of people by himself.
Exactly. What's that? Isaiah 63 or 4? Let's go there.
I got the highlighted.
63, right?
Yeah, I got it. 63, 1 to 6.
All right, go ahead. Let's get it.
Whom is that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? That he is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth.
Now go to Revelation 19.
Salaki. Yeah, buddy. Book of Revelation, chapter 19.
Verse 11.
13.
19.
19, verse 11. I got it highlighted all the way down to 16.
Started at 11?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of Yahweh. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahweh. And he have on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Right? And this ain't a tattoo. I heard somebody say you can get tattooed, but we see it's on his vesture. Nobody here thinks it's a tattoo, but
Nah.
that's funny though. I know probably almost everybody heard it. Yeah, so go read 17.
Verse 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying, to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together upon the supper of the great Yahweh, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, small and great.
Go ahead.
And I saw beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone, and the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
Okay, so we can go back. So yeah, in that day when Yahweh shall come back, it's going to be much death and destruction. He's not coming back, for candy corns and lollipops.
Yep.
He's coming back to shed much blood on the earth. Go ahead. Where we at?
We had 11. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in the wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be Zidon unto Zidon. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. And he saw the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent.
Skip 15.
Did we? No.
I wasn't paying attention. You ready?
Yeah, I read it.
All right.
Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse's heels, so that his riders shall fall backward. I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Naphtali is a hind let loose, he giveth goodly words. Joseph is a fruitful bow, even fruitful bow, by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty Yahweh of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Even by Yahweh, thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, whom shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above blessings of the deep that lieth under blessings of the breast of the womb.
And real quick, without doing a 12 tribes breakdown, just a lot of the chart comes from this prophecy, right? And you go through it, and like Zebulun says, he shall dwell in the haven of the sea. So that's the Suez Canal, right? That's between what?
Panama
Panama,
Canal.
right? So that's why there on the chart is Zebulun. That's like the most popular haven for ships in the whole world.
Khan, and where it says Zidon, it doesn't necessarily mean Zidon. The word Zidon actually means hunting and fishing, and people vacation there to do hunting and fishing. You know what I mean? So that's where they are in this hemisphere.
So they're trying to say that's mistaking them as one of the Africans, right?
Oh yeah, they're trying to say it's Zidon, but at the time there was no canal there. That's a man-made canal.
Yeah.
It's just like when they say Deuteronomy 28:68. Oh, well, y'all didn't go back into Egypt. You know, they try to take that and say Egypt's over there. It's the same thing. Scriptures, when it's talking about a place, it doesn't mean it's single to one location for all eternity.
Right.
Or they say, no man shall buy you. We know that means that no one was going to be able to redeem us. That means they wasn't going to be able to buy us out of slavery. Your brethren wasn't going to be able to buy you out of slavery. Nobody but Yahweh Shai is going to be able to redeem you.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, the place that was originally a place, but when it says of the place again and elsewhere, it's a spiritual place.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It means where hunting and fishing was going to take place, because that's what it means.
Yep. And I just pulled that up on there. It means hunting. And then Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. Who carries more of a burden and is a harder worker than the so-called message? You can't find nobody. I mean, you can see it. It's just the truth.
And
there's nobody that can carry burdens and a workload like a so-called Mexican.
And the name literally means he is hired. You know what I mean? Take any job, and they're servant unto tribute. You know what I mean? You know, you see like 20 of them, they'd be in a house, they all got cars and stuff, they all live lavish, and they having fiestas and stuff, they living good, you know, and they happy with it. Yeah, I mean, they see that everything else is good.
Yeah,
even
car is a worker.
He's a
Yeah.
worker.
Yeah, you right.
And you go to certain cities, and they be at like the corner. They ain't out there. It's like 30 of them. They ain't out there selling dope.
Home Depot.
They out there waiting for contractors to come by. Like, I need some people for the day, and they be out there every single day. I used to have this truck route that went through, I think, like Westbury, New York, some town, city, part of the island or whatever. right? And every day I go by the same place and it's nothing but Issachar out there on the corner. The whole day. I come by in the morning and then I come by on the way back here to Delaware, and it's still, even at the end of the day, it's less people, but it's still people. Even makes it used to make me think about the parable with the penny. How Shai came, sent some to work, and then at the end of the day, it was still some out, and they got paid the same thing. You see Issachar all day long. It started out like 30 of them. Then by the end of the day, it'd be like 5 or 6, but they still out there, ready to. Somebody needs some work. I'm on them.
That's why they're trying to cut off the border.
Well, that's how you know it's jobs in the city, because you'll see a whole bunch of Issachar around.
Yeah.
If they're in the city, you're going to find a job where they're at. You're going to find a job. And like some of the cities are named after Issachar's son in Mexico. You got Tula, which is Tola.
Yep.
You got a city called Puva, and that's down in there. And then the city Oaxaca, it means the wages are higher. And Issachar means he is higher. So
City called
parallel.
Issachar down there.
Yeah. It's Tola too. I was just naming off a couple. You know what I mean? And they're named after the sons of Issachar. Who we at now?
Who else? Somebody else. Gad was on there.
Oh yeah, Gad is on there too. It said
What did it say?
he's a troop, and at last he shall overcome a troop.
So, what's the Native Americans known for with their battles with the Europeans?
They was hard to overcome.
And they was going to war with the troops. They was overcome by different U.S. cavalry troops. They was even then when the Buffalo Soldiers was in this. That was a troop of the U.S. cavalry.
It was like, man, these people beating us up, man. We gotta make treaties with these people. We're gonna hope that they just settle down with us. You know what I mean? And they was like, nah, you the Fort Tongue. You know what I mean? We can't make no treaty with you. You the Fort Tongue people. Mm-hmm. They knew that they was. They said that they mouth. It's even the Habakkuk said that they was gonna come and that they mouth was gonna be smooth as butter. You know what I mean? We can get that.
Back to
Psalms,
real quick. Back to Issachar. Just I ain't gonna pass it around because we live, but you can look up on and go to images, and all you see is like they carrying that two burdens. There ain't nobody else. They on the corners like we was just talking about.
Defense move.
Yeah. They being very, very laborious.
you're trying to follow Psalms 55:20.
Bring it out.
They also popular for the donkeys, right? And that's a beast of burden. Donkeys can carry, you can just throw stuff on the donkey and keep throwing stuff. They gonna carry that burden. But
No, he was at the Psalms.
Psalms 55:20. He has put forth his hands against such as to be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. The
so
words of
where we at?
Psalm 55:20.
Okay, I just want to get there on here. Go ahead.
Okay, 55:20. He has put forth his hands against such to be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they draw sword.
That's talking about Esau here in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And break that down.
Oh, it's just talking about the treaties that
It's talking about the treaties,
Esau
yeah.
broke with the so-called
Yeah,
David.
talking
break
about
it
her.
down for the people online. Yeah.
He already did. I told him
Right.
where it was.
Right. The words of his mouth smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Yeah. He came around offering peace and medicine, but really it was a knife in his other hand. And with the medicine, the blankets, it was really diseases.
That's
He
the
brought to
pestilence.
get.
I got Habakkuk 2, and we'll start at verse 4. And it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not...
Habakkuk where?
Habakkuk chapter 2, we'll start at verse 4.
Habakkuk 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Let me get that. Go ahead.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
Break that down.
he just keep taking lands off people, and he was transgressing by his wines, his philosophy, not only just a wine, but literal philosophies too, even though he was transgressing by wine. He was trying to give them wine for their land. He was trying to come in with philosophies, and even change so-called Native Americans over to his culture.
And on the wine part, we on Gad, right?
Sure.
That's what he did. That's like one of his main tactics with Gad was to give him wine. Like what you see it on the movie Geronimo, right? And then even with that, he gave them wine. They getting lit, and then they become violent, and then he's so deceitful, right? He went and then he banned alcohol. He put them on the reservation. He done gave them the wine. He done got them addicted to the wine, turned them into winos, and then he's like, now y'all can't even have no alcohol. But then eventually, just like prohibition, he let them drink again, because now you see on reservations the most plagued with alcoholism people here in America is the Native American Indians on the reservations. And they can't have, like on the reservation, they can't have liquor stores, right? And I'm not sure if they can drink or not. But right outside the town, that's where they'll set up liquor stores, and it'll be the most profitable liquor stores in the country. Is one that's right outside of a reservation. Because they know where the limits is, and they know that these people, all they do is drink, and they don't have nothing and get high. So they put the stores there, and like I said,
They exploit them.
yeah, they exploit them, and those are like the highest profited liquor stores in the country, the ones that's right outside of a reservation. So go ahead.
That's where the ATF gets its craftiness from. Being able to operate in the medium of the ATF. It's bringing in, causing dissension between different tribes and stuff once you get them drugged out and everything, and then backing off and say our hands are clean.
Yep.
Look at these people.
Keeping them in jail and keeping us in jail, funneling on pipeline. Yeah. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. This also shows that hell is a condition again, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And that's also the thick clay that Daniel was seeing too. The kingdom that's laden with clay and iron. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee.
Can I go back to that alcohol part?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I looked up some news clippings or articles, right? And one of them says beer sales are Indian reservations cursed. Back to the topic of the Gad today in the reservations. And it says, I ain't gonna read it all, but it says this is White Clay, Nebraska. It says 4 rickety metal shops line the main road in this town of maybe 10 people sell an average of 13,000 cans of beer and malt liquor a day. So this town has 10 people residing in it. 10 people. But every day they sell an average of 13,000 cans of beer and malt liquor. That's crazy. Just because this town is right outside of a reservation. The nearest sizable city is 2 hours north. But just 240 yards north, across the state line in South Dakota, is the sprawling Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, where alcohol has been banned since the 1970s. So see, yeah, the reservation, they can't have alcohol on the reservation. But so Esau, what's he do? He's like, okay, let me put a liquor store 240 yards away right outside the border because I can legally do that. And all them people come down and that's all they live to do. is get drunk. It says, nearly all the alcohol bought in White Clay winds up on Pine Ridge or is consumed by its residents, tribal officials say. Pine Ridge is home to the Oglala Sioux tribe and is one of the poorest places in the country, according to a 2010 census. In February, the Oglala Sioux filed a federal lawsuit against the stores and Anheuser-Busch and several other large U.S.-based companies, accusing them of encouraging the illegal purchase, possession, transport, and consumption of alcohol on the reservation. Fetal alcohol syndrome, fatal drunken driving accidents, and beer-fueled murders have cast a pall over Pine Ridge for decades. So these cats is getting drunk, and they killing each other too. And so Esau knows that. So that's his intent.
And they're finding them frozen on the side of the roads and stuff during wintertime.
Right, because they drunk.
Yeah, I think I read about that before too.
But what they take away first though, also, they took away this. They took God. They separated them from the Most High. Same way with all the tribes. So they don't know the effects of wine. So we know we can go in the Bible. We can see what that wine is good in moderation. We can see that the effects end up with what's happening with the natives, the Gadites, right? And real quick, I want to go there, and then I want to go to First Ezra about wine, because Esau knows this. This like Esau has the Bible. They don't got the spirit. They don't got the deep down understanding, but they have the Bible, so they know how to weaponize the Bible, just like in the book of Eli. So they got the Bible and they know the effects of alcohol. They know that if we give these people alcohol, termed alcoholics, they're going to have accidents. They're going to kill each other. They're never going to raise up out of the dirt. Just keep them drunk all the time. First Ezra chapter 3, verse 11. No, 18. 3 and 18. First Ezra, that's in the Apocrypha. This is about the effects of wine. And how, it can be good, but then it can turn ugly. I'll read it. Will you
Yeah,
there?
go ahead. I was reading something.
All right.
Go ahead.
Verse 18, it says, and he said thus, O ye men, how exceeding strong is wine. It causeth all men to err that drink it. So already Esau knows this. When they start giving the Gadites the liquor, they know this right here, that wine is exceeding strong and causeth all men to err that drink it. Verse 19, it maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless child to be all one, of the bondman and of the free man, of the poor man and of the rich. So remember, Esau is very deceitful. So not only is he going to use it to destroy you, so he came in, but the same way his end goal is, I'm going to destroy these people, he also knows this is a way to get in and become friendly. Because no matter who you are, once you start to have a couple of drinks, what happens? You start to open up with each other. You start to become real friendly. You start to have a good time. That's all the liquor. And we reading it here. It don't matter if you're poor, don't matter if you're a bondman, don't matter if you're rich. We get together at the water hole or at the bar, and we start to have some drinks. We can all get friendly and be like on the same level. But remember, Esau, they knew this, and they doing it with the mind state that, okay, well, I got that sword behind my back, though. Verse 20. It turneth also every thought into jollity and mirth, so that a man remembereth neither sorrow nor debt. And it maketh every heart rich, so that a man remembereth neither king nor governor. and it maketh to speak all things by talents. And when they are in their cups, they forget their love both to friends and brethren, and a little after draw out swords. So Esau is doing this like, okay, we're going to give them the wine to get them happy. We're going to get friendly with them. We're going to give them the wine because we know that it has this effect too. We're going to sit back and we're going to watch them get drunk and destroy themselves and pull out swords on each other. Esau, he's tactical. He's that serpent. So when he brought the Native Americans to alcohol, you best believe all these things was at the forefront of their mind. This was the intention from the get-go.
They came to take what they wanted to take, and that's what was on their mind. They're going to take what they wanted to take.
Mm-hmm. Verse 23, but when they are from the wine, they remember not what they have done. See, and they get drunk, and they do all this, and then they don't remember the next day, but who did remember? The one that gave it to them. They remember, and now they like, got him. It worked. Man, that was a real good plan you had. We got to do this on every reservation.
Well,
Even up to today.
Not only that, but they do it on the spiritual level too. Like, they get you drunk, like the Christian pastors.
Yeah,
they
with
get them
philosophy.
drunk on money and power.
Yep.
You know, same thing.
Yeah, and that was the same thing. That was their intention with that. Everything that they did to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Israelites, was with tact. Keep them away from the Most High and have our kingdom. Allow them back to the Most High, lose our kingdom. That's simple. Verse 24. O ye men, is not wine the strongest than fortunate to do thus. And when he is so spoken, he held his peace. Yes, and I'm going to drop that.
Yeah, I want to go back to 9 in Habakkuk chapter 2. And it says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness, to his house that he may set his nest on high. And that's what he was doing. He just kept coming and taking from the Native Americans so he could set his nest on high. And the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 9, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Behold, it is not of Yahweh of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. So it's vanity that they're sitting there getting drunk, and they're having their things taken from them so that somebody else can establish their cities and build their nation by blood. But it also says destruction is coming to them as well. That's why it says woe in front of these sentences. That's what destruction means. Sudden destruction going to come to them.
And also, this is asking a question. It's also saying, it's a question, right? It says, the people that shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity, question mark. So who's laboring in the fire right now? We laboring in the fire right now. We going through that punishment is laboring through the fire. We're being taken through the fire right now. And it's the question, the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. So are we going through all this for vanity, which is for nothing? And the Most High is saying, nah. Even, and we see it all through the scriptures. What happens after we take our punishment is not for no reason. Our punishment isn't for our destruction, but it's that we may return to the Most High. And that he, at the end, give us our blessings. So that's the question he's posing. That's why the next verse, let's read the next verse. Verse 14.
Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him.
No, 14.
Salakia. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord.
So woe is coming to the people that God is on the bottom. Is it for very family? No, because the knowledge of the Most High will fill the earth. So what's coming with that woe that's coming to Esau and the nation?
Captivity.
Yeah, but what we talking about here, us coming back to the knowledge, read it again from the top.
For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea.
That's us coming back to the knowledge being
Israel,
put back
we
on
can't
top, right? We are the ones that carries that's to pass that on to the world, to govern the world with the knowledge of the Most High and the wisdom of the Most High. And he says, woe to the people that build the town with blood. All this woe. And he says, the earth will be covered with the knowledge. It's talking about us being put back on top. His knowledge coming back and him waking us up as a people. It goes hand in hand with the woe that's coming. And it says it will cover the earth like waters cover the sea. That's talking about when all the nations is put down, all the philosophies are put to an end, all the falsehoods and lies and idolatries. It's just going to be the Most High's knowledge and law and people ruling the earth. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness.
That's what we was just talking about with Esau doing that to the Native Americans. But they're also doing it to all the tribes. That's why every neighborhood's got everything that we can have that we can use to destroy ourselves. Because they're set up by us? Nah, it's set up by them. It says, woe to you that giveth your neighbor drink, and puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken that thou mayest look on their nakedness. So that's the woe got coming to Esau. Because all these things, the neighborhoods, the setup, the ways laid out, and to control and oppress the people, he tactfully did that. The Most High, he sees it, and he's saying, woe to him that does that. Go ahead.
Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
So we know what that's talking about, right? That's talking about Deuteronomy 30. The curses being turned on the nations.
It's Obadiah 16 and 17 too.
Obadiah 16 and 17. You got more? You want to keep going, or
that's
you want
it.
to go back?
Yeah, that's all I want to touch on.
Go back.
Verse 20. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties.
And Asher, that's like Brazil. Was that like
Yeah.
it is? It's Brazil, but it's in it Colombia, the Uruguay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me go here real quick.
What's my man
Is
name?
this the
He
one
said,
that has
they got
there's
oil
a Hebrew
reserves.
word that's like Brazil or something.
Barzal.
Is that in this verse?
It means iron.
Is that in this verse?
Nah.
What verse is that? But it says, Asher, his bread shall be fat. He shall yield royal dainties. And the land of Brazil is got a lot of what?
Iron.
Brass? Iron.
Iron.
Which scripture has Brazil is a Hebrew word? Do you know that one off top?
No, I'm on top. It's in like the
Is anybody? Guy Quab.
I don't know, bro.
You don't know? All right.
Y'all
Like I said,
know?
we're not doing we're not doing an in-depth breakdown, so it's cool if nobody knows it. But that's who we call Asher between Colombia and Uruguay, and has to do with their land and it being the fat. Because when it says the fat, your bread shall be the fat, it's talking about basically your land being having value. But this ain't the breakdown, so go ahead. Next tribe is who?
Verse 21. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth goodly words.
Mm-hmm. But
Verse 22, Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him, but his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the almighty power of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Even by Yahweh of our Father, whom shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above blessings of the deep, that lieth under blessings of the breast and of the womb. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors, unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. Benjamin shall raven as the wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is it that their father spake unto them, and blessed them, every one according to his blessing. And he charged them, and saith unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron the Hittite for possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife.
You know, and what we also see here is, you also see it with Tobit in other places, but we buried our dead. You didn't cremate the dead and then carry them around on the necklace. You didn't cremate the dead and then have them on above your fireplace. One, that's a dead body, and you're unclean when you buy a dead body. So we would bury our dead. And then there's other accounts where you would burn them, but then even when they was burnt, there was a spot where those ashes were put. But you didn't cremate your mom and carry her around with you. You didn't, and also you ain't leave the dead in the field for the fowls to eat.
Come.
It's a good thing to bury your dead. And we'll even go there real quick. Go to Tobit. Just to show, like, you're doing a good service to your peoples by burying them in the ground, putting them back in the ground. And it is chapter 1, verse, start 16. Then I'll try to find another one that said, like, one of the things you can do to get right with the Most High is whenever you see one of your brethren dead buried.
Tobit 1 what?
16.
The book of Tobit, chapter 1, verse 16. And in the time at Enemeser, I gave many alms to my brethren, and gave my bread to the hungry, and my clothes to the naked. And if I saw any of the nation dead,
My nation, so in my peoples, yeah.
or cast about the walls of Nineveh, I buried him.
See that? Go ahead.
And if the king Sennacherib had slain any, when he was come and fled from Judea, I buried them privily. For in his wrath he killed many, but the bodies were not found when they were sought for of the king. And when one of the Ninevites went and complained of me to the king, that I buried them and hid myself, understanding that I was sought for to be put to death, I withdrew myself for fear. Then all the goods were forcibly taken away, neither was there anything left me beside my wife Anna and my son Tobias. And they passed not 55 days before two of his sons killed him, and they fled into the mountains of Areth and Sacadenus. His son reigned in the stead, who was appointed
Go ahead,
over
skip
his.
over to chapter 2.
Chapter 2, verse 1. Now when I was come home again, and my wife Anna was restored unto me with my son Tobias in the feast of Pentecost, which is the holy feast of the 7 weeks, there was a good dinner prepared me, in the which I sat down to eat. And when I saw abundance of meat, I said to my son, go to bring what poor man soever thou shalt find out of our brethren, who is mindful of the Lord. And lo, I tarry for thee. But he came again and said, Father, one of our nation is strangled and is cast out in the marketplace. Then before I had tasted of any meat, I started up and took him up into a room until the going down of the sea. Then I returned and washed myself and ate my meat in heaviness, remembering that prophecy of Amos, as he said, your feast shall be turned into mourning, and all your mirth and lamentation. Therefore I wept, and after the going down of the sun I went and made a grave and buried him.
You see that? But see how important it was that he's going through all this just to bury his people when he sees them dead? Let me look up real quick and try to get the one more, and the one I was talking about. I think it's one, I know it is, see if I can find it. It's a scripture that talks about when returning to the Most High. If you, you know, it'd be a good thing if you see anyone dead, you go bury him. Can't find it. Does that ring a bell with anybody though?
I think it's slain or something. I was trying to find it.
What is it, you Lord?
Like when it come back to the Most High, I know it's the scripture. I'm just trying to find it. It says something about
10 times more?
if you see one of your brethren dead, to go and bury them. The context though is when coming back to the Most High.
So you, are you saying even though he's your brother, he can come back to the Most High, you ain't supposed to bury him? Is that the flip side of that?
No. I ain't even showing the flip side. I'm just showing that how
I'm saying, is that the flip side to it?
What? Don't bury somebody if
If they didn't come back to the Most High.
No, I remember last week we talked about how even though our brethren might not be back right with the Most High, we still got a standard to carry.
Okay.
Now, it don't mean just go burying everybody and it like gets in the way of doing the work. But it's a good thing to bury our dead. So if you're able to help bury
So you saying
the
collectively?
people,
Okay.
what we just read in Tobit, remember it didn't say if the matter of fact, most of the Israelites in Nineveh was off. Tobit was like one of the only ones that was still right. So he's burying all these dead Israelites, and it's a good thing, but 9 times out of 10, most of them was wicked as hell. But still, they was dead. The heathen king, he probably wanted to impale them, stick their bodies up on the wall. You know, who knows what he wanted to do. But Tobit was like, he was going sneaking and burying the bodies. Because it's something that we do, is we bury the dead. And, you know, it's a good thing. That's why Tobit's putting up with all this, going through all this just to bury the dead. They probably was off, like you just said. He was probably off, but he's still putting his life at risk just to bury. But I can't find that one. I think we got the point with Tobit. So it's all right, we can go back now.
Fell upon his father's face.
He yielded up the ghost and was gathered under his people.
Come.
Just showing when you die, that's just your body. That's ghost is talking about his spirit. So what happens after the spirit goes up?
A lot. But your fathers and yourselves have done unrighteousness, and have not kept the ways which the highest commanded you. As for as much as he is a righteous judge, he took from you in time the thing that he had given you. And now are ye here, and your brethren among you. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy.
So
For after
So
death,
this is the importance of coming back and casting off the old way and becoming the new man. After death, we can obtain mercy. Go ahead.
for after death shall the judgment come, when
After we die, shall the judgment come. Go ahead.
when we shall live again, and then
So after death, that spirit goes to the Father for judgment. And then when we shall live again. Go ahead.
and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
So when you die, your spirit goes to the Most High. You judge according to what you did is good or bad, and then you're going to live again. The Most High sends that spirit back on earth to another body. So, and then while you're there, after you get the judgment, then also you wait. That's the rest in peace. That's you waiting for that being sent back into another body, so to speak. You're waiting your chambers. So hold up, that's in, I think, what chapter is that? It's there. Chambers. For 435. Read that real quick.
We went
435.
in Second Ezra.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 4, verse 35. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask questions of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion when cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward?
This is just Ezra is talking about, basically asking the Most High when he's going to bring, the end of the world. But the point is, he's explaining that the souls of people wait in their chambers. So in this instance, the souls of the righteous question of when these things will happen while they're in their chambers. So that's what happens after death. You go before the Most High for judgment, and then he'll send your spirit back. But while in between time, you're waiting in your chambers. So there's a place where souls rest and wait until they're sent back on earth after death.
Could Ecclesiastes 12:7 be a precept?
Probably, let me go there. Read it. Hold on real quick. Let me get it. Okay.
Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was.
Right, so after you die, the dust return to earth. That's your body. That's why it's important to bury.
And the spirit shall return unto God who gave it.
And the spirit, see that? Yeah, that's probably even better. Probably should have pulled that one then to 2nd Ezra 14. So yeah, when you die, your body is made out of clay and water and dust. It returns to that dust, right? And then the spirit that's in it, when we just read, Jacob gave up the ghost, or his ghost went up. That's your spirit returning back to the Most High who gave it. So then when you go before the Most High, you're judged according to what you did, good or bad. And then he sends you back to live again. But in the meantime, you wait in a chamber. That's really, you're resting in peace. But for the wicked, we ain't going to go there. That's a whole another lesson. But for the wicked, it ain't peace. So for the righteous, they're resting in peace. The wicked, not really so. So like when people die, it's a custom. We be like, rest in peace. But it ain't really peaceful for everybody. Everybody ain't resting in peace or resting in paradise. That's only for the righteous. But, it said Jacob ain't sinned. So he lifted, his spirit went up and he rested in peace. He saw peace. He's waiting in peace.
That's equal to when the Most High, Yahweh said that no man take his life, but he give it.
Right.
And here Joseph, brother Jacob, is telling you that he gave it up.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a grim reaper that came in and took it.
Exactly. No left-handed angel came and took it. Nah. But yeah, so we can go back. You got that though, sis? Mm-hmm. Okay, come.
Where we at, 50?
We are starting 50 verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 1. And Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept upon him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. And the physicians embalmed Israel. And 40 days were fulfilled for him. For so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. And when the days of the mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die in my grave, which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan. There shalt thou bury me. Now, therefore, let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again. And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury thy father according as he made thee swear. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elder's house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt. And all the house of Joseph and his brethren, and his father's house, only their little ones and their flocks and their herds, they left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a great, very great company. And they came to the threshing floor at Atad, which is beyond Jordan, and there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Wherefore the
Hold
name
up, to what?
to the Egyptians.
To the Egyptians.
Wherefore,
Hold on. Why do the Canaanites think that
Description.
Joseph and
Jeremiah.
all the Israelites are Egyptians? Like, how come they not? How come they ain't like, man? It's a really great morning for those Israelites, and the Egyptians came with them. Like, why ain't that?
Jeremiah 14:2.
Yeah.
It's telling us the
Read it.
description of
Yeah, you can.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground.
Black to the ground. And what
And the
are
cry
the
of
Egyptians?
Jerusalem is going up.
Right. The Egyptians are black.
Darkest of the
So
brown.
these Canaanites, they ain't separating the two, but you clearly can separate black people from the so-called Jew today.
And it also reconfirms the whole story of Joseph being confused about his brother and what he looked like.
Right.
Because once again, he looked like
Everybody looks the same. The
Right.
Egyptians look just like the Hebrews. At least enough that the Canaanites said these Egyptians got it's a you know, real big sorrowful funeral going on that the Egyptians are having. Yeah, so you know, this is one you can mark in your Bible or your wherever your notes to prove when somebody questions or is debating or trying to tell you that the Jews were really white. Okay, well we see here in Genesis that the Egyptians are clearly black, and they thought that the Israelites was part of the Egyptians. How could that be? So that's all on that. We can go back.
Then we got Isaiah 29:22.
Go ahead and bring it out. What's it say?
Therefore, thus saith the Lord, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob. Jacob shall not be ashamed, neither shall his
You know, and
face-
let Yakina read it because of the music, and so that everybody online hears it. Where is it?
Isaiah 29:22.
There you go. Is this Sunday? Sound like Sunday, don't it?
They do it on this day.
This extra crossy over there.
They supposed to be the Old Testament Hebrews, ain't they?
I don't know what that is.
That's a switch for me.
Man.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 22. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob. Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face now wax pale.
Right. So it said Jacob's face ain't gonna wax pale. So Jacob ain't a pale man. He wasn't there, he ain't gonna be in the
Isaiah 29:22.
22:29.
No, 20, 22, 29.
No, 29,
22.
Okay. I'll let you know that Israel would never be white, right?
Exactly.
Abundantly waxing pale, not at all.
So who are these white people calling themselves Jews then?
Cousins.
right.
So that's the question right there.
Right. But yeah, we can go back if ain't nobody got anything else on that. Yeah, 50 and
Either came off of 10, 11.
right,
You start on 11.
right.
The book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 11. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, this is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan. And his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought with the field for a possession of a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre. And Joseph returned into Egypt, he and his brethren, and all that went up with him to bury his father after he had buried his father. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil which he did unto him. And they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, Thy father did command before he died, saying, So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee now, the trespass of thy brethren, from their sin, for they did unto thee evil. And now we pray thee forgive the trespass of servants of Yahweh of thy father. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him. And his brethren also went and fell down before his face. And they said, Behold, we be servants, thy servants. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for am I in the place of Yahweh. But as for you, you thought evil against me. But Yahweh meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Now therefore,
Verse
20.
Nah, I had lost it.
But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but Yahweh meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Now therefore, fear ye not. I will nourish you and your little ones. And he comforted them, and spake kindly unto them. And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house. And Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children in the third generations. The children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knees. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and Yahweh will surely visit you, and bring ye out of this land unto the land which he sware to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, Yahweh will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt.
You got 30 minutes.
Yeah, we can start the next one. No, we'll start. We should start next
Start next week?
Yeah, we should start next week.
Okay. Then off like 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. That concludes the day Shabbat reading of our journey into Egypt and how we became a multitude in the land of Egypt, and things that happened to our forefathers while we were in Egypt. And may the Most High Yahweh add a blessing to the reading of His holy word. We are Hebrew Chosen Elect. We meet here at Rose Hill Community Center every Shabbat from 12 to 3 p.m. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. If you're in Delaware or South Jersey or even in South Pennsylvania, we'd like to have you, or even in Maryland, across the border, maybe in Elton and so on and so forth. We'd love to have you join us here for Shabbat service. We have a Cash App also if you'd like to give alms or free will offerings. You can give free will offerings at hashtag Hebrew Chosen Elect. We have Passover coming up. If you'd like to, you can hit us up with details concerning the Passover, and we'll let you know what we'll be doing for the Passover. And if you want to see our previous lessons, you can see our previous lessons here at Rise of the Chosen on Facebook. Hebrew Media is our voice on Facebook. You can find our lessons at Hebrew Chosen Elect 2 on YouTube, HCE Reloaded, and HCE Red Pill Reality.
All upcoming lessons will be on this one.
On HCE Red Pill Reality.
On YouTube.
And with that, we say shalom.
You give the address?
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything to add? Hum Yasharallah! Hum Yasharallah! Hum Yasharallah! Hum Yasharallah! Hum Yasharallah! Hashem Yahushua!
Hashem Yahushua!
All right. Everybody, please rise and face.